everyone, my name is Ashton and I'm just trying to get it together. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that has just blown my mind over the last 24 hours, okay? I just had to sit down and chit chat with all of you. I just filmed a makeup related video and I was like, you know what, now I have to talk about this. I watched the new series on Netflix. It's called Tiger King: Murder, Mayhem and Madness. Came out in 2020, so it's brand new. So if you want to hear about this, because I was a little hesitant myself, okay, FYI. And I wanted to let you all know that this is a major spoiler alert. So many spoilers. You need to watch this after the fact. Please watch this after the fact. Don't blame me for spoilers. Major spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it has a potential murder for hire, maybe. The murder for hire didn't actually happen. A guy's behind bars. You have a big cat sanctuary. Another guy who has 15,000 women who he's associated with. A guy with 2 husbands. I mean, all of these complicated and complex relationships. And then you have this, the woman with the sanctuary. She potentially murdered her husband, so people said, and then she maybe fed her husband to tigers, so they said. If you're interested in this, hang tight, because we are gonna get it together today. Anyway, sorry I'm rambling. My brain is in 15 different directions because this documentary has me there, all right? So first of all, if you're interested in anything that I have to say today, or any day, you should like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. I post 3 videos a week. Anyway, let's get started. So the series focuses on a guy by the name of Joe Exotic who is centered in Oklahoma. He is a very interesting individual. He called himself a gay, gun-toting cowboy with a mullet. He was a very polarizing individual. People loved him or they hated him. The series follows his entire existence for quite some time. His feud with another person who actually owns a big cat rescue, which has tigers and lions and other big cats. Her name is Carol. And then it talks about other people as well throughout the whole scope. And within this, you start to see this major rivalry develop. It delves into his, Joe Exotic, his personal life, which is just a series in itself. He is someone who sells his persona. He felt from an early age that he did not fit in due to him being homosexual. He was having a very hard time coming to terms with that. He attempted suicide, and so after that he grew his love for big cats, and that's where the zoo came from, and he became very popular. So he had this major rivalry with these animal rights activists like PETA and like Carol Baskin, who I mentioned earlier, who was the founder of the Big Cat Rescue. And she was someone who spoke out saying that he was exploiting these cats by having people take pictures with them and breeding them and selling them, which was eventually illegal. And so they had this huge feud. I mean, he had a TV show where he called her out. He shot a doll and said it was her. It was a lot. Then it delves into Carol's life, how she came in to actually have her rescued. She got the money from her late husband, who actually disappeared. He was much older, I think 22, she said, 22 years her senior. He disappeared mysteriously, and so people started making up rumors that she actually had fed him to their tigers. And there were some very mysterious circumstances surrounding his death, and no one ever found him, and there was a lot going on there. So, of course, between the rivalry with her and Joe, of course, he brought this up. You're also introduced to Doc Antle. He actually had a place in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he had lots and lots of big cats and other animals, and he was an interesting character himself. He had lots of women at his disposal who he trained and would do things for him, and it was just like really sketchy. Another thing I want to make sure that you understand, you need to go watch Joe Exotic's country music videos. He is actually like, and I don't want to say this and sound dumb later, he's not a bad singer, but his country music videos are ridiculous. But his singing voice is not bad. You should go watch them. I think it's Joe Exotic TV, and it's still up on YouTube. Go watch all of them. There's even one of this lady portraying Carol that's like feeding parts of what's supposed to be her husband to tigers, and he's singing. Go watch it. It's ridiculous. Later on, Joe actually runs for governor of Oklahoma. He gets 19% of the vote, FYI, somehow. He actually had used his zoo's money to help pay for some of the cost, and this ends up getting him in trouble. Joe actually went into business with a guy named Jeff Lowe, who was this sketchy businessman. And from what I understand, he was stationed out of Las Vegas. Him and his lady, they came out and they were helping out, and things seemed to be great. He was bailing him out of all the problems that he was dealing with Carol as far as legal fees and whatnot. But unfortunately, from Joe's perspective, Jeff didn't really have the money to do so. And so whenever he ran into this issue, it became a huge threat for him. Some of the workers there came to resent both Joe and Jeff because there were a lot of shady dealings there. In the end, there were some people who accused Joe of hiring someone to kill Carol. He ends up going to jail. Jeff is somehow gets off scot-free, even though apparently he was in the discussions. This was all videoed. You can see all of this in the documentary. It is intense. There is a lot. I can't unpack a third, a quarter, a tenth of it. It's a lot. My thoughts on the entire series. You need to go watch. I thought it was one thing, and it ended up being like 56 things. It is a lot. It ended up being about the tigers and how these people individually saw that tigers could enhance people's lives, how they could show that humans did not understand the way that tigers live their lives. People were like, oh, you could hold a tiger and realize, oh, this is another being that's different from my own. And then you had someone else who was like, how dare you hold and take pictures of this cat who needs to be free and wild. You're exploiting them. So you had different views and perspectives here. And it's fascinating to see all of those perspectives. And what's interesting is I think people that do the documentary do a really good job of showing how each person, and what I say with each person, I mean with Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, Doc Mantle, and with Jeff Lowe, I'd say they're the four main characters. It shows how they could be potential good people and potential bad people. It shows the positives and the negatives, and I think they do a really good job of highlighting both sides of these individuals and how the public could truly see the good and the bad here. I think the documentary leaves a lot of questions. It shows how eventually Joe was incarcerated and how not only for the murder for hire plot, which I left some of that out on purpose because there's a lot of questions there. I do like how it shows the involvement of PETA. PETA is an entity that is kind of polarizing. People love or they hate PETA. So it's interesting to think that they did play a major role in how the story was told. It did also show that people are not invincible. Someone went from having a very successful zoo to running for governor to being incarcerated for 20-something years. It is an extremely interesting show. It went from being one, like I said, it went from being one thing that I thought to being like 56 different other things. I don't know where 56 came from, but it is interesting. Oh my gosh, go watch it. Oh gosh. And come back and comment down below and tell me what you think. If you like this video, if you care what I think about any other documentaries, I'm always down for a good documentary. You should let me know down below what you think about this one. Leave me your suggestions of others that I should watch. I've probably watched them. If I haven't watched them, they're on my list, but I would love some obscure documentaries. I'm obsessed. Tell me what I need to watch. That's all for today. See y'all next time.